This is the difference between your average, everyday, unhappy person working a 9 to 5 job, being in a relationship they're not happy with, being around friends they're not entirely honest with, and so on and so forth, and a master who's like enlightened, one of these like spiritual gurus, yogis, Buddhas, you name them, right? And difference is actually really, really minor. The only difference is that these so-called enlightened masters see the small miracles of the every single moment we live in life. So they look at life as an infinite number of snippets. They don't look at the past, they don't look at the future, they look at this now as an infinitely moving snippet of time. So they only consider the now and this new now right now and this new now that I'm talking about right now as this like infinitely moving snippet of the now. And they see the small miracles in these moments. There's actually a really powerful saying or mantra or phrase you can say to yourself, which will help you realize this and literally get you closer to enlightenment. Literally, all you have to do is say to yourself, every time you're frustrated, try to remember these couple of words and repeat them back to yourself, and things will click into place, and you'll see why in just a tiny bit. What you can do is repeat to yourself whenever you feel like an emotional disbalance, a rush of anger, frustration, irritation, anything that annoys you or makes you unhappy, sad, depressed. Just repeat to yourself, I am the master creator of my own life. What that phrase does is it forces you to accept the responsibility of your life at one thing. Second thing, you claim the moment for what it is. You take full responsibility of everything that's happening around you, even if it seems it has zero correlation to you, even if it's a random person cutting you off in traffic. If you say that you are the master creator of your life, that means that's a moment which you called forth to yourself and you manifest it for yourself. No matter how bad things seem at this moment, you accept the responsibility for anything happening around you, meaning you see the small miracles which are very obvious to these enlightened masters. Now, to them, it's obvious that everything is a small miracle. This breath you're taking in right now, I'm not even thinking about it, this beat of your heart that's happening that you don't even consciously pay attention to is a miracle that you're still alive and well on this planet. You watching this video means you're alive and well and healthy. Healthy enough to enjoy this video. Healthy enough to not to worry about your sickness, but to worry about this video and outside things. Just the fact that you're paying attention to outside things means you're not worried about your health too much, and you're happier than most people on this planet already just by watching this video. Because that means you are worried or curious or interested, which means you don't have any overwhelming problems at this point. Even if you do, they're not as big as you think they are. So by claiming responsibility for that person that's yelling at you, that person that's cutting you off in traffic, you're taking responsibility for that being a miniature miracle and a miniature lesson. Because every single thing we experience in this life is a lesson to us, called forth by us. So our souls can experience or balance some karmic thing, or basically everything's a full circle. Every time you cut somebody else in traffic, somebody else will cut you off in traffic, because that's how life balance must be. Now, it doesn't have to be per se word for word, but the more I pay attention to miniature things around me and accept responsibility by saying the phrase, I am the master creator of my own life, and repeat that back to myself, the more I'm aware of the small, subtle nuances of the things that are really happening to me just as it happened to other people by my own doing, by my hands. So, let me just think of an example right now. I would say something to my girlfriend that was a little bit annoying. And then a couple days later, she would say the same thing back to me. And I'll be like, why'd you say that? That's bad. It's like, why would you be, annoying or make fun of me? And then I stop. I'm like, whoa, I did the same exact thing to her like 3 days ago. And now I see what it's like to be on the other side. It's the age-old yin and yang, and basically both sides are always equal, and the balance always comes back to zero. It's The balance is sometimes a plus one or a negative one. It fluctuates nonstop. Sometimes you're the receiver, sometimes you're the giver. And it'll always come full circle, and you will feel both sides sooner or later. Now, we can get into some really hardcore things like some people's belief of reincarnation, of the karmic balancing, but I'll leave that for another video. But most importantly is by taking responsibility for the way your life is right now and not acting like you're a victim of your life, but being responsible, being like, I am the driver of my own life. I'm not a passenger watching life happen. I am in charge of my life. And by repeating those words back to yourself, you will, by default, have a better life. Because the first step is accepting the truth and not denying it. And this is the first step of letting go of addictions. This is the first step of fixing any problem. You have to admit the problem exists. So by admitting your life exists because you want it to exist that way and you're not doing anything about it, you will have a chance to do something about it by acknowledging what you're not doing about it. So I challenge you, next time you're unhappy, angry, sad, depressed, any negative emotion you're not satisfied with, try to write these words down, like write them on your hand. Tattoo them on your hand if you have to. I'm not a supporter of tattooing. Oh, I'll make that a different video. However, you want to literally write this down, like put it in a sticky note and put it on your computer, put it in your fridge. And whenever you feel any negative emotion, just say that back to yourself. You will be surprised how drastically different your life will be. Not in months, not in weeks, in days. Your life will feel different in a matter of days. I can guarantee you that. Give it 7 days. In a matter of 30 days, your physical appearance might even look different in the mirror. The power of influence of our thoughts and words and feelings on our life is so high. Unfortunately, only a very few people know the full potential of those words, and we call those people black magicians and enlightened people. Yet they're no different than us. It's interesting how every single big master who has a religion after him said something along the lines of, "What I can do, you can do too." Jesus said this many times. Like, what I can do, you can do too. The only difference between him and these amazing high up people and us is the fact that we don't acknowledge how powerful we actually are. Thank you for watching.